To greater heights in 2025. We have a team that is ready to change the world and bring America back to greatness.
Experience the greatest celebration of America. 4 days, thousands of patriots, the loudest voices, the strongest leaders. Featuring Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon, Jesse Waters, Greg Gutfeld, Grant Cardone, Rob Schneider, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Glenn Beck, Riley Gaines, Todd Chrisley, Savannah Chrisley, and more. December 18th to 21st in Phoenix, Arizona. The movement meets here. You won't want to miss this. Register now at amfest.com.
Turning Point USA, we say that chapters change the world. We are Americans, and we are going to win.
Rumble, which you and I really care about, is ascending. I think there's some chatter already in Silicon Valley of what are we going to do about these Rumble guys?
Charlie was one of the few that really did it for the purpose of forwarding free speech, the actual idea of like doing something great for America.
The Charlie Kirk Show is not going anywhere. My husband's voice will live on. We will never be silenced.
Do you want to change the country?
We are Turning Point USA's National Field Program.
And we're hiring.
Are you looking for a challenging career?
Something you can grow with in an ever-changing world?
Look, this isn't just a job. It's a journey of development with the mentorship to guide you through.
Join an organization where your warrior spirit isn't just welcome, it's essential.
The one thing we can promise you is that this is a career that will never get boring. Just ask our biggest fans.
So what does the field program do?
We are recruiting the next generation of American conservative leaders.
We give high school and college students the necessary resources to start successful chapters.
We are the boots on the ground, doing the hard work no one else will attempt.
Whether that's deep in the South or all the way in California.
We plan to host thousands of chapter events across the nation.
Many of our staff in leadership positions were former chapter leaders and alumni of Turning Point USA.
We mentor passionate young conservatives who love their country.
Join us.
Late to bed, early to rise.
Work like hell.
And organize.
We're active in about 15 campuses, and we're growing very, very quickly. And keep in mind, this is not just a flash in the pan movement. We're going to become an institution to give them the power and the confidence to stand up and let their voice be heard.
When I first started this, I was 18.
No idea what I was doing, no connections, no money, unlimited energy, enthusiasm, and I actually thought this was possible, which was kind of crazy if you think about it. Only in America would an 18-year-old with no idea what he was doing, literally no idea, be able to walk the halls of the Republican National Convention, give out business cards to every human being that I made on a little topographical printer, say, we are losing our country, young people are the answer, we need to do more on college campuses.
I want our Turning Point USA students to receive a round of applause. These are the freedom fighters of America. This is the greatest generational realignment since Woodstock. What they're doing is one of the hardest things to do in the United States of America. They are deciding to be less popular on campus. They are deciding to actually speak out with a high social cost. They're deciding, even though it might jeopardize their job, their career, or their reputation, to put their country over themselves.
I used to be a Bernie Sanders supporter. It was one of your videos that really woke me up, and you're an inspiration. Wow. You're awesome. Thank you.
You are why I do what I do.
So which way are you leaning?
Can I get a hat?
That's a good answer. Be welcoming. Even if people have different viewpoints, be open. You guys on the front line, starting Turning Point USA high school chapters, starting Turning Point USA college chapters, you are on the front lines of saving this country. And you look around, our numbers are increasing. We are happier, we are joyful, we love the nation.
College campuses should be a marketplace of ideas, where you can have debate and dialogue and discussion, where you can hear something that is different than the point of view that you're entering with.
Every day you get to fight for what is good and what is true and beautiful. You are doing something that is bigger than you.
Turning Point will live longer than me. That's my mission.
Hi, folks. You may be hearing a lot about Refi these days.
Student loans are now sitting at $1.8 trillion.
You need to talk to Refi.
And they don't care what your credit score is.
My partner and I created this company with the intention of taking it to help borrowers get out of debt. Refi is the only company in the country that does what we do.
I think very highly Refi. We're all in with them.
We invited God into our homes. We invite him into our company. We want to make it an incentive for you to want to work with Refi. We give these folks the dignity to pay back their debt.
Please welcome the Chief Investment Officer and Managing Partner of Refi, Lane Schoenberger.
Hello there. Wow, what a great crowd. I can feel the energy, I can feel the excitement and the momentum. Say again? Hey, welcome here to this amazing event. We're really proud to sponsor this amazing tour for Turning Point. What an opportunity. So I'd like to say thank you to the Turning Point folks for allowing us that opportunity. My name is Lane Schoenberger. I'm the Chief Investment Officer and founding partner at Refi. And, our mission is very simple: to help people get out of probably one of the most crushing financial situations they may ever experience: student loan debt. As you heard on this video, student loan debt is $1.8 trillion. It affects 45 million Americans. I'm sure there's some of you out there that have some student loan debt. So I'd like to just talk about that for a quick second. Our mission is simple. We came up with a way to help you get out of your student loan debt quickly, affordably, and a manageable solution with dignity. Okay? No more predatory lending. Gotta get rid of that. Tired of it. So I invite you to take a moment and visit us at yrefi.com. Check it out if you're a borrower. But I want to just address something really quick. As a young person, you have dreams, you have goals, right? You're here trying to make yourself a better person, get the education, and those dreams. And if you're not dreaming, you need to start dreaming. Okay, dream big. I want you to dream big. But those dreams, they come with a price tag sometimes. And those price tags can be very hefty, and they can follow you for decades. Our job is to help you get out of that debt, because I want to just leave you with this. We don't define you by your student loan debt. You are not defined by that. You are not just a number. You are a human being, and you have goals. And we hear those stories all the time at Refi. They call in and people talk to us. And student loan debt, it ruins families, it ruins futures, it ruins your freedom. So we want to get you out of debt quick. That's what we do at YRefi, okay? Now, to those capitalists out there, the folks that are looking for a way to help, we raise all of our capital by working with individuals. We don't do anything with institutions. So if you're an accredited investor and you're looking to do well by doing good, which is our motto, it's what we do, okay? Give us a look at investyrefy.com. That's invest, the letter Y, R-E-F-Y.com. It'll give you an opportunity to jump on the bandwagon and help us with our mission. Now, I'm going to end on a couple of things. First, I'd like to say I had the privilege of having a very good friend by the name of Charlie Kirk, who took... Thank you. Very special human being, as you all know. And he saw something in YRefi, and it was big. And it was because of his willingness to get behind us and support us. It gave us that drive to get up and continue to do what we do every single day. So I'd just like to say thank you, again, to Charlie for looking out for YRefi, for believing in who we are and what we do, and allowing us this opportunity. I'm going to end with saying... I had the privilege yesterday, a few days ago, of going to the White House and watching the presentation of the Medal of Freedom. What an amazing... I don't even know what to say about that. Afterwards, I had the privilege of visiting with Erica for a few minutes, and she showed me the medal, and on the back is the cross that they engraved, and she shared that that's not something that they do, that they did it for Charlie because he believed in God and Jesus, and he is home. And I want to just say thank you very much to him and Turning Point and everybody again, because this is a real pleasure. So I'm going to end with this. God bless America. God bless you. God bless YRefi, Oklahoma State. Enjoy the show tonight, everybody. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem and join me in welcoming Alexis Wilkins to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Please feel free to sing along. I have the longest sustained cough from whatever is going around. Y'all know, y'all are in college. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank y'all. Y'all sound great. Now, we've been doing something kind of fun at these stops here along the way, and I'm going to sing this next song, if that's all right with y'all. If y'all sing along, is that cool? All right. I know that you know it, so don't worry. This is not a test. I mean, it's a little bit of a test, but I know that you know it. If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Thank y'all so much for singing with me. God bless y'all. God bless America. God bless Charlie Kirk. Thank you so much.
Please welcome Governor Kevin Stitt.
Oh man, it's great to be in Norman, Oklahoma tonight. Are you guys excited to hear from Russell Brand and Savannah Chrisley? And I'm super pumped to be with all you guys. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to start this very important evening. First off, we hear a lot about how liberal or woke college campuses are. That may be true, but we're going to change that starting tonight. What a great opportunity to celebrate the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk. And engage in this idea that is so foundational to our country. It's called free speech. This event was supposed to be in the field house, but it sold out so quickly that they moved it right here to Lloyd Noble. You guys are amazing filling this up. And I know America is going to be all right. Just look around. Look around this room for just a second. And it's filled with students who are committed to godly, conservative principles. And I'm telling you, Charlie would be so proud of the Turning Point chapter right here at the University of Oklahoma. There we go. He would have celebrated his 32nd birthday just a few days ago. During his time on earth, he created a legacy that honored God. And one of the last things that he said that he wanted to be remembered by was for his courage and for his faith. And Charlie knew his faith couldn't thrive in isolation. He knew that we weren't meant to do life alone. He was all about building community. And I like to say, let's do life together. It's so much more fun to do life with our friends. I want you to high five your neighbor, the person to your left and the person to your right. And think about the people in your life that are around you. Your roommates, your friends, your family. I want to ask you a question. Are they drawing you closer to the Lord? Are they making you bolder in your faith? And I love the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These were 3 young Jewish men living under the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar. The king issued a decree that when the music played, everyone in the kingdom had to bow down and worship an idol. I was reading this passage and it struck me. How did they react when that music started to play? How would you react? If I was Shadrach, I might have looked to my left or looked to my right or looked at my friend Meshach or Abednego and wanted to know what they were going to do. We all knew the right thing to do. We all knew that it was wrong to bow to an idol. But it's so easy to go with the flow when you're standing by yourself. It's easy just to justify, I guess, inaction. But when those 3 young men looked at each other and they all nodded and they made the choice to do the right thing, to honor God, to not bow to this world, to be bold in their actions, the consequences were severe. The consequences were severe for Charlie Kirk. But let me tell you something. If you're living just for this world, you're missing what God has intended for you. Mark 16:26 says, "What good will it do for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul?" God blesses your obedience. The reason you need to do life in community is because it's easier to have a buddy in battle with you. Ecclesiastes 4:12 tells us, "Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves, and a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." I want you to fight isolation in your generation. Find friends who are running after God and living their lives to glorify Him. I want you to encourage each other to choose boldness, to choose righteousness. All of you in this room are deciding what you want your future to be. What are your dreams? What are the desires that God has placed on your heart? This reminds me of a story of 12 young men that were sent out to spy on the Promised Land. These were the Navy SEALs of their generation, the elite of the elite, the creme de la creme. They were the absolute studs of their generation. All 12 of them. There was no difference in them physically. They were all studs. 10 of them came back with groupthink. They focused on the negative. They came back and said, they're stronger than we are. The land devours those living in it. We look like grasshoppers in their sight. But 2 of them, Caleb and Joshua, they chose to trust the Lord. They chose boldness. Caleb came back and said, We should go take it right now. We can do it. Let me tell you a story about my own life. When I was your age, I was in college, hadn't even graduated yet. My mentor encouraged me to write my lifetime goals down. He said, just dream big. Whatever comes out of your heart, try to write down 50 lifetime goals. So I started writing them down, and then out of my heart, it just came out. I'm like, well, I grew up in Oklahoma, and man, I think it'd be cool. And I wrote down, become governor of Oklahoma. There's more to that story. I was sitting there thinking, there's no way. My parents weren't rich. We weren't political. I didn't know anybody that was in politics. It just seemed too big. So here's what I did. I erased it, and I wrote, have dinner with the governor. Now I get to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the governor. 20 years later, that dream came back alive in my heart. I was so scared. I had these voices in my head saying, you can't do that. Why do you think you can become governor? And I want to challenge you today. If God puts a dream in your heart, there's always going to be people that will tell you you can't do it. But I'm here to tell you, when God's for you, who can be against you? So I want you to challenge you. I want you to go after bold things. You're only limited by your imagination. Let me put a bow on this story. Nobody remembers the 10 weak-minded people. We don't even know their names. They didn't stand for anything. But we remember Caleb and Joshua. We remember Charlie Kirk because he stood for something. We remember President Trump for his boldness and fighting. President Trump just did an unbelievable peace deal in Israel and brought the hostages home. Let me tell you something. You're not going to wake up at 30 and all of a sudden say, all right, it's time for me to be bold. It doesn't happen that way. Today at 18, 19, 20, however old you are, you have to choose what battles you're willing to fight for, what issues you're willing to fight for. When you walk into my office, the governor's office, right there on the left, on the wall, when you walk in, is the scripture, Joshua 24:15. And it says, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. The rest of that story, 40 years later, all 10 of the no-name guys had died. But Caleb and Joshua became the leader that took them to the promised land. Caleb arrived in the promised land at 85 years old. And he asked Joshua, he told his buddy Joshua, he said, give me the mountain with the giants, because he knew God was with him. That's how he said it, Joshua 14:12. He says, now give me this hill country that the Lord promised me that day. You yourself heard then that the giants were there and their cities were large and fortified. But the Lord helping me, I will drive them out just as he said. Caleb had the heart of a conqueror when he was 20, when he was 40, and when he was 85. He knew that God wasn't going to let him down. I know God will never let you down. And in closing, remember, it's easier to fight your battles with a buddy, with a community. Surround yourself with like-minded people who will face the challenges of life with you. And nobody remembers the guy who stands down. So be the one who steps out boldly and stands up for what's right, just as Charlie did, and just as Erica's doing today. We all have that same choice as Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, and Joshua and Caleb did. You can change the trajectory of this university, of our nation, if you reject passivity and you choose boldness. It's what Charlie would have wanted you to do. Keep fighting for your God-given freedoms. That's what makes our dreams possible. It's time to step out in boldness. It's time to chase your dreams. And I want to tell you this, no dream is out of reach and no dream is dead until you give up. Will you join me in prayer? Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you in the Lloyd Noble Center at the University of Oklahoma with hearts in unison that we want a move of God in OU, in Norman, Oklahoma, in the state of Oklahoma, and the United States of America. We ask you to come do a work in each and every heart here. Help us, Lord God, as we strive to do your will. Give us boldness to face the enemy. Lord, give us discernment with all the decisions that we have to make as all these young people are choosing the careers that you have for them. Just help them be led by your Spirit. And we ask you to give us an eternal perspective. And we know that we don't live for this world, but we live for eternity. And we just thank you for what you're doing in the state of Oklahoma, in the lives of all these young people in this room. And we ask this all in the name of Jesus. Amen. I am real excited for the rest of this evening. You guys have some great speakers. Thank y'all so much for being here tonight. And I'll leave you with this. So proud to be an American, but I thank God every day I'm an Oklahoman. God bless you.
Please welcome to the stage University of Oklahoma TPUSA Chapter President, Caleb Magana.
Boomer! We're still better than Texas. So I wanted to start off by saying Charlie Kirk was set to speak on our campus today, but I'm so incredibly honored to host the Turning Point USA Tour at the University of Oklahoma. I want to thank you guys all for coming here tonight. Our chapter at the University of Oklahoma has been blown away by the response the community has shown. Whether that is good or bad, we've seen it all. So many people have been so kind and amazing. We'd like to take a moment to thank our security and law enforcement. Not only for their amazing help today, but for keeping us safe, but also for their diligence and hard work every day, putting their lives on the line for us. And I could not continue without thanking a few people instrumental in our chapter. All of our amazing chapter members, give yourself a round of applause. Y'all have been there for us week in, week out. Y'all have been so supportive. Turning Point USA staff incredibly, especially. Willing to work with us, support us in our ambitious goals, and most of all, thank you to the Turning Point USA for supporting our chapter and giving us the resources and training to pull off an event this size. Thank you, Gary. Our faculty advisor is just amazing. I mean, it's just, we're really blessed. Gary Barksdale, give him a round of applause, you know? Yeah, we're just so blessed to have teachers, faculty that support our chapter. It's just amazing. If you're interested in starting a TPUSA chapter, please check out the TPUSA table at this event or go to the tpusa.com/get-involved. We would love to help you get plugged in. Finally, we're encouraging you to attend our biggest event of the year, America Fest, this December in Phoenix, Arizona. And it's just, with that being said, please join me in honoring Charlie Kirk by holding up your rally signs. That is on your chair for a photo. If you don't have a sign, yell and give us the energy for Charlie. Everybody stand. Charlie Kirk. And in light of Charlie Kirk's birthday 2 days ago, I would like for us all to sing Charlie Kirk happy birthday, marking his 32nd birthday. Stand and please take out your camera lights. That's just beautiful. Charlie would have loved to see this. Hit it. Happy birthday. Thank you guys all so much. And to anybody who feels like they don't have a place at the University of Oklahoma because they've been ousted for being a conservative, you have a place at our chapter. Thank you.
Please welcome Savannah Chrisley.
I just want to thank the University of Oklahoma for the warm welcome. The signs, the posters, the trash cans with my face in them, they're all beautiful. So I've never felt so popular and recycled at the same time. But seriously, you guys, I love that you care enough to have an opinion. That's what freedom looks like. And before I get started, this is a little bittersweet for me. When I got the email to come on tour, I was like a little kid on Christmas morning. I had gotten to meet Charlie a few times, and the interactions I had with him changed my life. He gave me a voice when no one else would. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. They're like, we want Savannah to open for Charlie. I was like, wait, what? I was freaking out. And then the unthinkable happened. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to cope with it. And I know all of you guys are kind of in that same place right now. It's hard. It's hard when we have so many people spewing hateful rhetoric. And I'm dealing with that right now at my little sister's school, Lipscomb Academy in Nashville. 14 boys wanted to wear a red tie to honor Charlie. And this is a Church of Christ school. and they were forced to take it off because it was a dress code violation. And that's all because there are Democrats from the top down running this school, and these kids are now suffering because they didn't get the chance to honor Charlie how he should have been honored. But I want to be real with you. Lately, I have been in a really low place, and I feel like a lot of people are afraid to say that they're not okay. And I think it's okay to not be okay all the time. I've been in the kind of place where you start to wonder, does my voice even matter? Is what I'm doing working? Am I really making a difference? And last night, God reminded me that he still sees me, and he sent me a note. This note right here was given to me at a restaurant last night in Nashville. At dinner, two strangers, Scott and Jet, I hope to meet you guys someday, handed the server a handwritten note, and it said, "Thank you for standing up for your family and our beliefs. God bless." And then they quietly paid for my meal, and if you know me, you know I love food, so that was an expensive dinner. They had no idea, though, how much I needed that just in that moment. Because when you're fighting for truth, sometimes it feels lonely, but that simple act reminded me God still speaks, sometimes through thunder, but also through handwritten reminders that you're seen and still called. That card reminded me that this fight is never about fame or applause, it's about faithfulness. It's about people who still believe, who still choose courage when fear is easier. There are moments when you don't know where to turn, when the money's not there, when the courage is gone, when you feel completely unseen. But what you do have is conviction, and conviction is enough for God to move mountains. And then, as if to drive that message home, I saw something else yesterday that a lot of you guys saw. I saw a photo of a dumpster full of Turning Point posters, signs with my face on them, and that's the reason my dad hopped on a plane and flew from LA to here to make sure that I wasn't alone. These posters were tossed away like garbage. Half the students here didn't want me or Turning Point USA here. They didn't want our voice, our values, our faith, or our presence. For a second, it kind of stung because, let's be real, we're human. And after what happened to Charlie, it's scary to see something like that happening. But then God whispered, "What they meant to silence you, I'll use to strengthen you." So, you can throw my face in the trash, but you can't throw away the truth. You can rip up signs, but you can't rip up conviction. You can hate my presence, but you cannot cancel purpose. God has a funny way of using what the world discards to raise up warriors. What they meant for humiliation, he turned into motivation. What they meant to bury, he used to plant. And as I looked at those signs surrounded by garbage, I smiled because I realized you can throw away my image, but you can't silence the image of God that I know I carry. And that's what this is really about. It's not about politics, but purpose. Standing for what you believe in will always cost you something. And if someone tells you otherwise, then they haven't stood up for anything. I've decided that I would rather stand alone in truth than sit comfortably in a lie. So, to every student who hated that I came here tonight, Thank you. Your rejection is my confirmation. Your opposition proves that this mission still matters. This is America, a nation where freedom of speech still exists, where faith still stands, and where truth doesn't bow, it rises. And I couldn't help but think, if Charlie were here, he would have smiled too. Because he knew the moment they try to silence you is the moment you know that you're speaking the truth. I can't help but think that Charlie would tell us, let him throw away the signs. Just don't you dare throw away your courage. Almost 3 years ago, for people that don't know my story, my world was shattered. My parents, my absolute best friends, my coworkers, my everything. My dad knows more about his daughter's relationships than he ever should. My parents, they were taken from our home and sent to prison for a combined 19 years. And unfortunately, it wasn't just a headline, it was my life. Suddenly, I became mom, dad, sister, protector, caregiver, all at once. And I had to do it while cameras and critics picked me apart. I was angry at the system, angry at the people who lied, and honestly, I was angry at God. But then, as God would do it, I felt like he spoke to me again and said, Savannah, you can't fight evil with anger. You fight it with truth, and you win it with love. That night, I learned something. And this is a hard lesson for me, because for people that know me, you know I can be a little tough around the edges. But I learned something. I can be strong and still be soft. I can be bold and still be kind. I can be feminine and still be fearless. Because femininity isn't a weakness. It's divine design. I know, being a woman's pretty cool, right? If only everyone knew, you know, the difference between a man and a woman. But ladies, this one's for you, because I had to learn this lesson. You don't have to become hard to be powerful. You can be gentle and still lead armies. You can cry and still conquer. That's what godly womanhood looks like. After one of my speeches, the sweet and loving and gracious, God-fearing Erica Kirk sent me a text. Savannah, you have a massive anointing on your life. And she has no idea what that text message did for me. Those words, they changed me. Because when you're walking through fire, you forget that you're chosen for a purpose. Erica's grace, her quiet power, that's what strength looks like. That's who Charlie believed in, and that's who we should all strive to be. In the midst of our grieving, I want to remind you of a prayer. And it's a prayer that I prayed very often. And it's called the I don't know prayer. It's when you come before God and whisper, I don't know what's next. I don't know how to carry this, and I don't know why it hurts so bad. Because we're all hurting really bad. And then you say, but you do. God, I don't know, but you do. That kind of prayer still moves his heart. That kind of surrender still moves mountains. That's how I've survived the past 3 years with a trembling voice saying, but you do. Faith doesn't die when a faith doesn't die when a person does. It lives on in every heart that still believes in truth. I listened to Glenn Beck's Turning Point USA speech, and he said, every generation must decide whether